Alrighty, next up, unwrapping. So I got my low polys finished up, and now in this chapter I'll be unwrapping them into a flat UV space. Again, it may be pretty tedious and boring for some, but it's a absolutely necessary step. I hear from many of my 3D friends that this part is the most relaxing and zen and quite enjoyable, so I don't know, you might like it, right? To be honest, I'm kind of like whatever's with it, but I guess, if you're like opening present neatly, then you might, or if you're like a psychopath who likes to skin things like Leatherface, then maybe you might like it, I don't know. Anyways, let's get started. Okay, so now that we're done with the retop, we can move on to the next stage, which is unwrap. But before we move on to unwrap, let's just focus on this body, and let's do one last thing. Okay, so in vertice mode, go to select, and make sure nothing is selected. Okay, nothing's selected for vertices, so I'm just gonna select outside, so I'm not selecting anything, and then go to select and select all traits and go to non-manifold. Okay, boom. So what this did was basically check any kind of error, any kind of pockets of mistake that I made during the retop stage, right? So you could see, for example, right here, what is this happening right here, right? So there's this piece, right? So I'm just gonna go here and see what's happening. So look at that. So you have these two floating vertices that are just kind of like behind this edge, not doing its purpose. So this could potentially cause a baking error later along the line. So I am just going to snap it back on. So as long as you have this guy auto merge vertices on, it will snap back on. Okay, so now now if I were to go to select and select all traits again, nothing, right? This part right here, it's fine, because remember, we have the hard ops, the mirror modifier. So basically it's open because it's just this half thing, right? So once I merge this, apply this modifier, then that will disappear. But for now, let's just leave it as is. The problems are stuff like right here, like these little weird floating vertices that I accidentally created while retopping is something that is important to fix. Okay, so you can kind of see this one right here too. There you go. So again, select all traits, non-manifold, see, nothing, right? So that's something that we got to do now to just fix it. And oh boy, so you could see this this part right here, I just completely forgot to retop. So just bring in the model, and just gotta keep continuing on. So yeah, it's just like a good way to just find that error, find that mistake, so everything's nice and airtight, and there won't be, by doing so, you'll be able to avoid any type of like baking error along the line. So yeah, very important process to do. Okay, so let me just kind of fast forward this part. Alright, so there you have it right here, all filled up. So yeah, just basically go into each of these mesh, find these type of errors and resolve it, like right here too. And usually the case is that it's just some floating vertices or something that's nothing too messy, but yeah, like you could just kind of see, right? You can see that there's like that floating vertice right there that's causing that issue. So all you got to do is just clean it up, and there will be some kind of way to fix it. And yeah, that's how you gotta get rid of these non-manifold selected vertices. Okay, so yep. Alright, so now that I've got the whole non-manifolding thing taken care of, let's finally move to unwrapping. Okay, and for now, let's focus on the head part, just because it's a lot more manageable compared to the body. So with the unwrapping, just basically imagine flattening this 3D object into a 2D space. And if you watch or look up YouTube videos on Blender unwrapping, there's going to be tons of tutorials out there that kind of explain the basics of the unwrap far better than what I can explain. But I'm going to try my best to explain while showing what I'm going to be doing with this model. Okay, so basically just kind of imagining this as like a big present, and you're unwrapping it in properly and nice and neatly. Okay, and to do that, you go to this UV editing space, and let me turn on the screens cast on so you can kind of see what I'm pressing. Okay, so what I'm going to do, so let's say for now I'm going to select this entire object and just unwrap it. Okay, unwrap as is. Okay, so A to select everything, right click, UV unwrap face, and unwrap angle base. Okay, so by doing that, basically what it did right here is it shot out a flattened image of this guy right here, right? And you can kind of see it's blue right now, and the reason why it's blue is because I have the UV stretching thing turned on. So if I go under this little tab, you see this UV stretch. By default, it's turned off, but I turned it on so that I could see where things are stretching and where things aren't. So you could kind of see some of these hot blue areas. So if I were to select like areas like that is kind of stretching. So you kind of see like stuff like right there. Where is it at? Like that area is stretching. And to be a little more obvious, let's apply a new image texture. So don't worry about all these width and sides for now. All I want to do is check this guy in the color grid. Okay, so I'm going to select color grid and new image, and boom, you get this image with all these numbers and alphabets, right? So to see that here, I need to go into the material preview mode and go to my material and choose the surface to image texture. Oh no. How do I do this? Oh yeah, base image, base color image to image texture. Okay, change that to image texture, and then on this little icon, go down, and as you can see, I made all these materials as a test, but I forgot what it's called. So untitled one. Okay, I should have named it, but untitled one. Just select that, and boom, you can kind of see it. Okay, so let me just isolate this for now. And as you can see, things are mirrored on the other side, just because remember we have the mirror modifier on this, and I'm going to take care of that later. But for now, you can kind of see certain areas that are stretched, right? So for example, like which one is it? So you kind of see that area is stretched, and kind of hard to tell the stretching part. So what I'm going to do is select this whole thing within this model or within the UV sheet, okay, and scale it up so you can kind of see more obviously where things are stretching. So for example, like this area, you can kind of see something like G5 to G6. That's a very stretched out image, right? So stuff like that we gotta fix. Okay, so to do that, what I'm gonna do is start adding seam lines. Okay, so within the edge mode, okay, I'm going to go back to this view. I'm going to start applying an area to cut. Oh, and one other thing, before you do it, make sure to apply the transformation of scale. Okay, so Control A to apply the scale, just because, like, maybe while you were working on it, you might have like stretched this, or in the Y or X direction, some for some reason, and you want to get rid of that. Okay, so you just gotta apply the scale transformations just so that you could have a clean state with the scale of this whole thing. Okay, so you have this, and now on the with edge mode, I'm going to select certain areas. So the rule of thumb, like where the bevels or the edge, the creases are, like that's like the good areas where you want to apply the seams. So once I have the seam selected, so you can kind of see like this is this concaved edge, right? Where on the high poly model, you can kind of see, there's that cut line right there. So that's where I'm gonna add the cut with the seam. Okay, so right click this while those edges is selected, mark seam, and boom, it kind of gives that red line. Okay, and it's kind of hard to see, so if you want to, you could go to the material and you can kind of adjust it. So what I like to do is basically turn on the roughness all the way up, so there's no like shiny material surface or anything, And also you could kind of tweak with this IOR thing, just kind of make it lighter so that it's not like too, you know, too disruptive into your eye. Okay, so yeah, so you have this little cut right there, and what I'm going to do now, 3 and then A to select everything again, and unwrap, unwrap angle base, boom. And as you can see, you get 2 pieces now. So you see this piece that I cut, and then we still have these remaining piece that I need to cut. Okay, so you can also press L to like select the pieces that you chopped up. Okay, yeah, same with here, right? You're gonna select this piece, and then if you want the link to select everything, then just select link and just or press L, and you'll get this pop-up right here. So just to open that pop-up and choose normal, and that'll select everything. Okay, but here you'll be able to select one piece at a time. Anyways, so now that I have that, basically, yeah, that's about it. Like, you're just gonna go through and start chopping up this piece where it needs to. So for example, I think, like, you know, some of this edge right here can be cut up. So I'm just gonna follow through right here. So again, like wherever the edge or the sharp edges are, like that's where you want to apply this seam. Okay, so right click, mark seam, and there you go. And make sure it goes all the way to the edge, okay? You don't want to be like hanging like this, where it's not gonna connect. So that's just gonna cut up that piece, but then it's not gonna really do anything. So just be aware of that. Maybe like piece like this could be chopped up right here. Okay, so something like this. Okay, let's see, like right here. Just be fair, I'm holding control to walk the edge of where I want to cut. Be careful with the way you cut it though. Like let's say if I start off right here and go all the way to the end, you see how it just cuts in a weird way, right? And so you gotta kind of walk it bit by bit to make sure you're applying the seams exactly where you want to. Okay, mark seam, right? And maybe the lower part, let's do the lower part too. So let's say like around here-ish, right here, something like this. Okay, so I'm gonna just apply the seams. So it's right here. Okay, boom, 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 something like that, boom. Just make sure things are fine where you're cutting. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Control Z, I'm going to cut right here. Okay, so something like that. Mark seam. And then, yeah, let's try unwrapping right here. Okay, or let me do one more. Do this piece right here. Select the inside because this big gaping hole. Mark seams. Okay, so I'm going to press 3 again. And then select everything. Right click, unwrap, and go by face or the base. And boom, there you have it. So we got this piece that we still need to deal with. Still a good chunk of piece that needs to cut. Yeah, you can kind of see things are starting to become less and less of those hot blue circle. Okay, some of them are fine. Like for example, let's look at this. Let's look at this piece right here. There's some hot circles around there, but yeah, things like that are passable in my opinion. Maybe some people might argue it may not be, but honestly, if it's, you could test it. Like you grab some certain piece and move it, and if it's like hot yellow or red, you see that red color, that's bad. Yellow and red. But if it's around like that blue, light bluish color, then I feel like, in my opinion, like it's okay. It'll work out. But definitely something like that is not good. Okay. So let me just chop up a few more pieces. Like this piece still needs some work because it's a pretty ginormous piece. Okay, so I'm gonna just chop up. Let's see how I want to cut this in half so that I don't need to deal with this whole entire piece. So let me just deal with something like right here first. Let's see, like that maybe. Mark seam. Okay, let's see. I think I could this little front area right here, front cover thing, front mouthpiece, could be chopped up. Okay, let's see, 3A, and then unwrap. Now you could skip all this step and just use the smart unwrap thing. That just kind of does everything all at once. But it's pretty messy. You can kind of see like all these like little pieces that are just messy, right? And it's just, yeah, it's fast. And if you want to unwrap and just unwrap in a very dirty fashion, then it's fine. But we, because we took so much time making low poly, might as well give some love to unwrapping as well. All right, so which one was it? So this piece is still kind of weird with like pieces like that. Like I don't want like holes. I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, at this point, I think it's passable, but I feel like I could still chop up some piece. Let me just double check how the high poly looks like, because some of these polygons are kind of missing. So I think I could chop up like this area right here, right? As half. So it's right here, and then just kind of go up. Or maybe chop up like somewhere around here-ish. So let's do something like that, okay? So I'm gonna go to here. Because yeah, this piece right here is a little too long in my opinion. Okay, so something like right here, that's where the seam is from what I remember. So just chop right here, mark seam. Okay, so that's good. And I feel like there's another piece right here, but okay, maybe not. This little strip right here, which was kinda, let's see, so it's right here, right? So I think I could separate this dark blue area. So I'm gonna just chop this whole dark blue area so it's like its own thing. So let's try that. Shift H. So it was right here. This part, mark seam. Okay, so this piece will be its own form. Let's see how far it goes. So I think I could just chop this area right here. Just kind of go around. Let's see, do I want to chop it up like that? Weird. Okay, so I'm gonna just chop it right here for now. Mark seams. Okay, so that there's not gonna be that little hanging piece. So let's try again. Unwrap. Unwrap angle base. So yeah, things are starting to fit a little better, but I think we could do a little better on this piece right here. You know what? I think this is good, honestly. I mean, I could chop up pieces like these guys right here, but honestly, I think it's fine. Yeah, we don't need to add unnecessary cuts. It's like as long as there's not too much stretching. Like this part kind of worries me. Why is it stretching so much actually? Okay, yeah, I think I know why. Like because we're dealing with squares that are really kind of funky, right? Like you see, if I were to look at it, you see how the square is like very twisted. So in this case, what helps is just kind of applying, giving some. Just make this in triangle. That kind of does the trick sometimes. Yeah. So yeah, a little better. I might have to unwrap that part. So like piece like that. Yeah, it's like kind of forcing this square to be a little form-fitting, which is not a healthy polygon. I don't know if that's a term, but. And then let's just try unwrapping, see if that did any better. Yeah, I mean it's a little stretching, but I think it's fine. It's fine. All right, cool. So we got that. Let me just cut this part right here too, since there's some sharp edge that's happening. Okay, something like that. Mark seam. And then that's boom. Okay. All right, so let's move on to the next step. Okay, so as you can see, this is mirrored, right? And around this time, I would say you should start a new, like save a new file, because from here on, we're going to merge these guys, get rid of this mirror, and if you want to go back to the mirrored version, you'll have another file, right? So I'm gonna merge it. or I already saved it, so no worries for me. I'll convert to mesh, and that will get rid of all the polygons, or not the modifiers. Okay, so now that I have that, so it's still mirrored because let's focus on this piece right here, okay, this little piece, because basically this left side right here is sandwiched on, or like toggled on to here. It's on top of this. So if I were to select these guys right here, then basically it will select the same thing. So what I'm going to do now, just simply select the whole thing and do the unwrap angle based again, and boom, now we have this whole entire circular part and not mirrored, right? But what I want to do is I want to rotate it so that it's not like diagonal. Like I want it either perpendicular or horizontal with every piece. So with this piece too, you could see that it's kind of diagonal, right? So I'm gonna like rotate it around so that it's more flat. Same with this, just kind of scooch it so it's either horizontal or vertical, and I think that's good. This piece right here could still use some cutting, but honestly, like I think if you were to cut it too much, then it might be a little too problem. Like what you want to do is try to fit as best as possible into this square, right? With this same equal shape. So this piece right here is taking a lot of space, and it might not be giving enough space to other section, but and I think it's passed. Like if Unwrapping Pro were to look at this, they would be like, oh, come on, man, do better. But yeah, that's about it. If you're really anal about the stretching, then you could always also go to change the UV stretching to angle to area based, and you kind of see like more obviously where the stretchings are. So for example, like pieces like this right here, right, which is under here, right? So you could always kind of chop up these pieces. So by going edge, select, and because I already merged the mirror, I need to do the same thing here too. But what you can do is delete this half and then do the mirror once again. So that's another tactic, but you could also keep going at it like this. Okay. And then or if I were to unwrap this whole thing, then that's gonna rotate the angle of these guys again. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna select the ones that I added seams, right? So this part right here and this part, and control number pad plus, and then I'm just gonna unwrap the selected angle by seam. Boom. Okay. Boom. So it's like scaled up. So you can see like how it just kind of fits in the circle. And by doing so, like this kind of creates like unevenness with the colors, right? So anyways, I'm gonna select this whole thing. So let's say if I want to pack everything into this one square, right? So what I'm gonna do is go to UV, pack island, and under the pack island setting, because I don't want to change, because I changed the rotation manually, turn off the rotation, but scale is something that you want. So I'm just gonna pack it and okay, I guess it doesn't really change the scale accordingly to the model, but what you can do is average island scale. Okay, so do that. So that should scale everything according to this entire scale of this model, and then you could go to pack island again, and boom. So that should have done the trick. Okay, so yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna fast forward and see if I run into any hiccups, but yeah, just gonna unwrap everything just like this. Okay, and for now it doesn't need to follow, like everything doesn't need to be in this one square. You could just like, honestly, like you could just place it anywhere like that, as long as it's as long as there's no like stretching or weird form like that. That's all I'm looking for. That's and just nothing too jarring. Okay, so stuff like that, just making sure things are perpendicular, things are horizontal, and yeah, that's all I'm looking for. Right, so let's fast forward it. Oh, one other stuff I want to show is with this organic stuff before I fast forward. So I'm gonna convert this mesh because I want to get rid of all the modifier. Convert to mesh. And that might take a while because remesh, this is using remesh and decimation, right? So it's like trying to squeeze all the models into Yeah, so this one's a little messy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get rid of the areas or open the hole first. So if I were to look at this, so you see how like this area is kind of hiding and I'm not gonna see it at all. Same with the top, like the little edge right here is hiding, so you're not gonna see it. So Shift H, what I'm gonna do, so I'm gonna look at it from the sideway and Control or Shift Z, and then use this lasso selection to select the edge. Delete face, and same with the top, or same with the bottom. I think I could get like rid of like this much chunk. Delete face, and I believe I could get rid of this guy too, right? Like this little cap right here, because it's hiding. Delete face. Okay, so that's about it. And what I want to do, this one's a lot more easier. What I'm gonna do is damn, I keep saying what I'm gonna do. All right, so I'm gonna press 2 and select the back face area right here, right? And I'm just gonna go hold Control and go all the way to the end, like around here-ish, because this is in the back. We're not gonna see it. All right, and then I'm just gonna go mark seam, and then this, I know that this piece right here is gonna give me a problem, but let me see how it looks unwrapped. Okay, so 3A, oh, and before that, Shift A, apply scale. Okay, there it goes. Okay, and again, unwrap angle based, boom. Okay, so we got this piece right here, very stretched out. Where is it stretched? Let me just see how it looks. So the top part is very stretched, right? I believe this area, and I believe it's due to, why is it so stretched? Shouldn't look this stretched. I believe though it's because of this guy right here. So let's get rid of this guy, right? So with 2, I'm gonna select the edge, or select where the seam is. So this is the consequence of dealing with remeshed model, or decimated. It's just messier to deal with. Okay, so mark seam, and then this one right here. Let's see how I'm gonna do this. Actually, I might just have to cut it, chop it into a awkward shape. Hopefully the seam won't show. And it should be fine, honestly. Okay, somewhere around here, mark seam. Okay, let's try it again. 3A, unwrap, where is it? Boom. Okay, so yeah, that's a lot better. See, no, not much yellow area. This area is a little yellowish. Why? But it's passable. Yeah, this area is super orange, right? Just because it doesn't have, it's not unwrapping, it's still a cylinder that's like overlapping on each other. So what I want to do is, where there's a cut, which is right here, I'm gonna give a seam, and notice how I'm kind of doing it in the back, right? Because I know that this is facing the wall, I guess, of this big surface, so it's kind of hides, using this wall to hide it in a way. Okay, so we'll just chop it all the way down to where the end of the seam is, so around here-ish. Mark seam. Where are you? Where does this end? Okay, so about here. This will be the last one. Mark seam. Okay, 3A. Okay, unwrap by angle. Okay, so yeah. Nice. Okay, so there are some stretchiness happening, but if I were to do this and change the area to angle, done, fixed. I mean, it's not fixed, but it's not too much of a problem. Like, these guys aren't that big of a deal. You know, it's still looks good. Like, there's some bigger stretch around here, which worries me, honestly. Why is it like super stretchy here? Easy way to get rid of that stretching is just select this whole thing, right click it, unwrap faces, and instead of angle base, let's go minimum stretch. Boom. And that should have done it. Yeah, a lot more blue, right? Some yellows here, but that's fine because that's like all the way in the end. You can kind of see the stretching here. It just can't be done because, you know, the space is kind of being passed around here. So yeah, that should be good. Yeah, this is perfect. So let's move on. So one thing I forgot to mention here is that notice that there are these numbers slash letters that says, like H1, H2, H3, H4, G1, G2, G3, F1, F2, all the way to A1, A7, so forth, right? These letters actually have purpose when unwrapping your model. So, I mentioned earlier that once you unwrap your model, you want to rotate your unwrap either perpendicularly or horizontally, right? And not diagonal. So with these numbers, when you rotate and unwrap, when you rotate the unwrap, you want to try and make these numbers face the right direction. And what I mean by the right direction is that you don't want it to face horizontal or diagonal or upside down. You want to face it like how you normally read these numbers or letters, right? And by doing that, once you bake your textures, there are these certain textures that read the positions of your unwrap. So for example, let's say you have a metal texture with a rust that has a leak coming out of the rust. So if you have the position of these numbers facing the right direction, these leaks, they'll go down the right way. As if in the real world, right? Like a rain falls onto this metal texture with the rust, the leak will drip downwards. Now, as you can see with my model, I have many unwraps that are warped and pretty much impossible to face all the numbers the right direction. So that's why I say try to make the faces the right direction much as possible early on, because it is pretty difficult to face all these numbers or unwraps the right way. And yeah, because how organic my model is. Now there is a workaround which I will show you guys later in my process, but it's just a good practice to sort these things out earlier on, just so that you don't have to rely on that second option. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you can, when you rotate these unwraps, try to read these numbers, try to make these numbers be legible in the right form, not upside down, okay? Just so that it will save you guys a headache later on. One more thing I want to show is once you pack this, so again, go pack island, and then boop, pack. Okay, so there you go. So they're on here. I guess you don't need to really pack it, but just to find out, like, okay, all these shapes seem like they're blue, but then just to make sure there aren't overlapping shapes, what you can do is go to select, or what you should do more like, and go to select overlap. Okay, and as you can see, some shapes are glowing like this, and you could clearly see that there are vertices that just kind of overlaps each other. So stuff like this you need to fix, or else the bake's gonna get messed up. And another thing, select where was it? Split. Okay, so that's something too. Sometimes like some of the vertices might be like split. But that should have been fixed when we did the manifold thing, but just to be safe, right? So again, this is the most important. Select overlap, and then something like this we gotta fix. Okay, so let's try this piece right here. Okay, what is this piece actually? Let's check that it would be this piece right here. So why is it overlapping? Okay, well, whatever. Unwrap it. Let me just squeeze it in here and see if that did anything. Oh, what happened here? Huh, weird. Okay, well, whatever. Squeeze it in here, and then select overlap. Okay, so yeah, that seemed to be fixed it. Let's fix this guy. What is this piece right here? Okay, so let's try unwrapping this guy. Okay, okay, and let's try checking. And also, like, the overlap will also detect, or well, hold on, let's try this. Select overlap. Oh, what the, oops, I accidentally must have selected this piece right here. Let me go back. Okay, so again, deselect, select overlap. Okay, that should have fixed things. But then like one other thing, this should, if I were to let's say like sometimes like we would have a piece like this, right? And then like sometimes also slightly there might be like overlap like this where you wouldn't know, but that should detect it too. Select the overlap, you see how it just detects like that. So it's like a really good way to make sure things aren't, again, overlapping. So let me just select everything again, and UV, first of all, average island scale, and then UV packed island, boom. Okay, and then let's try again, select overlap. Nothing, right? So this is perfect. Select over. Oh no, there is something. Select overlap. Oh, I thought I just saw something. Select overlap. Okay, well, anyways, I guess that solved it. So good. One last thing I want to show before I move on to the next chapter, which I think is really cool. So something with cylinders like this, right? So let's isolate it, and before isolating it, make sure you know where the back is, because that's where I want to put the seam. So Shift H, so this is the seam, or this is the back, and I'm gonna select the back edge right here and mark the seam. Okay. And as you can see, there's no cap. If there is a cap, make sure to seam that too, but this one doesn't, so that makes it pretty easy. And then I'm just gonna go 3, select all, and unwrap, you know, just whatever angle based, or but yeah, so we have a cylinder, and here you could call it done. But I know some 3D artists are very you know, critical about having a very clean, you know, lined up, nicely aligned mesh or UV. So to do that, what I want to do is just kind of select one square. So like, let's say this guy right here, right? This square, because this square seems pretty straight. So I'm going to select the top and auto align. Same with here, auto align, and auto align. Okay, and now I'm going to select the one that I auto align, which is this one, and then press A. Okay, and then shift or right click and follow active quad, and boom, that makes this unwrap very clean, right? And as you can see, no, not too much warping, and yeah, I'm sure if a 3D unwrapping artist sees this, he'll be happy. I don't know how this works, but yeah, it's nice. So yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I'll see you guys on next chapter.